All right, Matt, today we're doing some math. We're pulling out some statistics.
I don't like math.
This is fun math, though.
Oh, fun math. Okay.
We're really going to help churches big time today because we're going to talk about 4 ways that your church can increase overall giving, but also save money in the process.
Okay, that is fun math. Let's do it.
This is good math to do. All right, so number 1, and a lot of churches are already doing this, but if your church is not already doing this, offer online giving.
Yes, and this is the best part about these 4 things that we're going to talk about today is the fact that any church can do this.
Yes.
Number 1 is add online giving. Most of you are probably already doing that at your church, but if you're not offering online giving to your members, you're missing out.
Yes.
Most churches that offer online giving, that go from not online giving to offering online giving, see a 32% increase in overall donations. We found that through nonprofit source. I actually wrote a whole article a few months ago called "The State of Church Giving: Trends and Statistics." Can never say
Words
that
are
right.
hard sometimes.
I know. And I found nonprofit source. It's an organization that does a lot of studies in the nonprofit space. Found that churches see a 32% increase in overall donations. I saw that number repeated across multiple organizations.
Yeah.
Different organizations found slightly different increase numbers, but it was around that 32% increase factor.
That's pretty substantial.
It's really substantial. So if you're not offering online giving to your members, you're missing out. The reason why it creates that increase is simply because it allows people who support your organization to donate even when they're not in the building.
Yes.
So if they're sick or they're out of town or just for whatever reason can't make it, they can tune into that live stream and make a donation.
Yes. And just to quickly kind of bring you up to speed, if you're like, well, how does online giving work and everything? Just real fast, I'll show you. So if like someone donates, we'll just say $100 to your church. Well,
pretty simple.
Typically, like you're going to have the fees associated with online giving, and there are so many companies out there do this, including us, by the way. But when it comes to credit card donations, there's usually like a fee of like 2.9% is a pretty common one. Mm-hmm. My 9s are so weird. I'm sorry. And then so 2.9% plus like 30 cents is typically what we see. So if I do my math right, that means it's $2.90 plus 30 cents, which I'm doing math like I'm in high school here. So now $3.20 would be the total fee. So for your average donor that's giving $100 to your church, $3.20 of that are the fee.
So the church retains $96.80 out of that $100.
Correct.
And that's all online. That's all from the comfort of someone's smartphone. They're just sitting in the pew or they're sitting in their living room, again, watching that live stream, making that donation. And your church otherwise would have missed out. Even though you're losing $3.20 to that transaction fee, your church is gaining $96.80 that they would have missed out on otherwise.
Yes. Now, if you want to learn more about online giving and just how to find the right online giving provider for your church, although I would argue you should check out ChurchTrac if you're looking. But we did this whole video you can check out. Just click the link.
It's over here?
Yeah, I think it's over there. It's somewhere up there. But that is a great video where we really just dive deep into the online giving and how it all works and everything. All right, now let's talk about the next thing. So now we're more into the online giving realm specifically, and how you can save money with online giving, specifically saving money with those fees. So cover the fees.
So your members can cover that $3.20 fee that Wes just illustrated with the math. Most online giving platforms offer donors the option to add a little bit to their original donation to cover that transaction fee, whatever it is, whatever that percentage is.
Yeah.
And Classy.org, it's an organization that is focused on the nonprofit space, again, just like Nonprofit Source, but Classy's focus is fundraising. So they're definitely experts in this area. They found that 55 to 60% of the time, donors will cover that transaction fee when it's given as an option. If it's something that's offered by default, like set by default, they see an increase in 75 to 85% of donors will cover that fee if that's an opt-out option.
and so just that alone, if you offer that with your online giving provider, and just kind of show, because we offer this with our covering the fees.
That's right. So I actually have a smartphone here with our Church Connect app. I'm on a church's platform, on a church's app right now. If I go to their online giving, it opens up their portal. All I have to do is type in the amount of money I want to donate to this church, select a category, and then below that, right below where it says I can enter my payment source, there's a little toggle switch. And if I toggle that on, I'm adding a nominal amount just to cover that transaction fee. That way, the church retains the entire original donation of $100 rather than that $96.80. They get the $100.
Yeah, and I love this just because when you have 55 to 60% of your people typically covering the fee, that right there just cut my fees in half.
That's right.
Online giving.
Absolutely. So even though you're adding a transaction fee to your donation process, at least for the online donors, by giving them the option to cover the fee, you cut that fee in half or more or better, according to the stats.
All right, now let's dive deeper into increasing how much money that our church can bring in, specifically online giving, and that is recurring donations. Recurring donations.
So your donors can just set it and forget it. Remember that old, what was it, an oven or a toaster or something?
When I was a kid, I would watch this infomercial all the time. It was Showtime Oven, and it was a rotisserie cooker. Yeah,
man, you're taking me back. So yeah, your donors can do that with online giving. Most online giving platforms, including ChurchTrac, gives donors the option to set an interval for how often they donate. So they can make a one-time donation, or they can give weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and they can set what day it goes through so that they can support their church, and also it makes it easier for them to budget that donation with all of their other finances.
Yeah, and this isn't just us saying this. You showed me this statistic. I've got it pulled up here, this whole article from Network for Good, which does a lot of research in this realm. 5 ways a recurring giving program can boost your fundraising results. And the one that really caught my eye was point number 4 that you had shown me.
The more loyal donors. Yes, recurring donations equals more loyal donors. The reason why is because typically, for in-person donations, churches can expect to have like a 20% new donor retention rate from year to year. In other words, if a new family starts coming, or if someone who's been coming is finally able to start donating, only about 20% of those people continue to support the church over time. Most of them stop giving at some point. But for churches that offer online giving, and if that online giving platform offers recurring donations, those people, like 80% of the people that select that option are still giving to that church a year later.
That's wild.
And then 95% of those people are still giving 5 years later. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's a huge boost to your long-term fundraising efforts to offer online giving with recurring donations as an option.
And I think one thing that's so cool about recurring donations is because you're not depending on that person having to be there present in your church. And so when you have typically, I mean, we talk about it in our attendance and statistics article we did a while back, but showing that your average church person now is coming to church maybe 2 to 3 times a month, depending on what age realm they're in. And so for them to not be there for a couple weeks at a time, yet their donations are still coming in.
Yes.
Recurring donations is huge for that.
I mean, like us, we're dads. We have kids. We know what it's like to have a kid and then not be able to go to church for a little while when that baby is fresh and new.
Oh, yes.
And so, but by having recurring donations set up, we didn't have to worry about our church having to miss out on our support.
Yeah. All right. Now, the last one, this one's really near and dear to me, Matt.
You preach this pretty hard to all the churches that you talk to.
I do. I guess I'm the evangelizer of saving churches money. I don't know, but
that's a good thing to evangelize about.
Yeah. So when it comes to saving your church money, especially when we're talking about online giving fees and stuff, having ACH donations available to your people is so important. It's so important that I did a video you got to check out. I actually
click the link again.
Kind of what I did earlier when we talked about how fees work with online giving and credit card. I actually compare credit card to ACH and showing just the difference. Long story short, what is ACH? It's when someone gives from their bank directly to your church's bank.
Right.
And so they're not utilizing their Visa card or Amex or whatever. This is only available in the US, by the way. And the cost of ACH, this is the beauty of it. This is what makes it so great for churches, because instead of being something like, 2.9% plus 30 cents, and you're looking at like a $3.20 fee for every time someone donates. With ACH, typically it's like a flat rate depending on your provider. Here at ChurchTrac, we have a 25-cent flat rate, which I would encourage you to shop around. I don't think you're going to find a rate any lower than that.
It is the lowest, period.
So just saying. But if you do the math, I did the math. Check out the video to see it in real time because this is fast. But when you do the math, on average, you save about $70 per donor per year compared to credit card.
Okay.
Multiply that by a dozen, you're looking at almost $1,000.
Wow.
Multiply that by, I don't know, 50 donors that are donating to your church on a regular basis. We're talking about thousands of dollars your church can save in online giving fees by just having them give with ACH.
Yes. So if your donors are giving to your church by online giving, by converting some of them from credit and debit card donations to ACH, you're saying that the church can save even more money.
Yes. Yeah.
By a lot. Because,
a lot.
And that's because, like, if they give the $100, like Wes demonstrated earlier, instead of $3.20 transaction fee, there's just 25 cents.
Yeah, and what's so cool, like with our platform, we even have the recurring donations with ACH.
Nice.
A lot of platforms
Amazing.
now are starting to offer that, thankfully, because it's so awesome.
Yes.
So yes, those are just, I mean, we cut through those fast, but I would say those are the 4 best ways that your church can increase overall giving. Between number 1, offering online giving to begin with, and then number 2, enabling your people to cover those fees,
right,
and then enabling recurring donations for your people so they can just set it and forget it.
Right.
And then what we just talked about,
ACH.
Yeah.
That's the secret. If your church does these 4 things, we can almost guarantee that you'll see a massive increase in the overall donations and a lowering of your fees so that you can do a lot more ministry with the money that you're saving or raising from all of your supporters.
Yeah, so if you want to check out some of our other content we've got, definitely just peruse through our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of videos like this. This was kind of unique because we decided to go live real quick just to throw this stuff out there because it's good content to have in your hands so you can learn more. But yeah, check out some of our other videos. Also, we've got an amazing Facebook group, whether you're a ChurchTrac user or you're just in ministry in general and want to just do ministry better. That is a great community of people to hang out with. But stay tuned. We've got a lot more cool stuff to come. But let us know in the comments, how are you saving your church money? We'd be curious to see. See ya.